It's 10 a.m.-ish on a Saturday morning, and we're at the track. We got our whole setup unloaded. We're not putting the canopy up today because we don't need to, but it's, old wristbands, using them up. But we're at the track, and Ed is taking his car around, getting a little shakedown. He's somewhere. We still got some last minute cars pulling in. I hear him. We'll see him come through. There we go. There he is. Look at him coming around the corner this way. But it is officially the open practice. I'm going to get run over because I'm right where he wants to. Oh, I guess I have to go push him now. Oh no, he's going to make another lap. But there's a trailer that was waiting on our buddy to move. So, make a couple laps in the pits. Just make sure, hey, the car drives, nothing falls apart. So we got all the divisions going on today, and next week, this side of the pits is mostly legends and bandos, occasional, I'm going to say mini stock. I have a 50-50 chance of being wrong. We got more legends. I think those are vintage mods. The All-Stars. Hi, Rich. Say hi.
Hey, it's great to see everybody back again, or at least these two people. The important.
But, yeah. So, I lost him again. I don't hear him driving, so he probably got stuck by traffic again. And, yeah. I'll be back when we get the first round of practice, but we got some time because we got probably an hour before practice, and we have all these divisions. So, probably one, maybe two rounds. The bandos, probably like 5 or 6 rounds total. Pro trucks are usually 1 or 2. We're probably going to have 3 rounds, but we have to go down this whole list before we go back to the top to go down, and then the enduro guys go afterwards. But this is the schedule for practice. This episode will go up Wednesday before the next round of practice, but it is free to enter the grandstands. So if y'all are, not doing anything, want to come hang out, 11 a.m. is when the grandstands open, and it's free to come hang out and watch some practice and just watch a bunch of different types of cars on the track. Until then, we'll see you when practice starts. So she's still in one piece. Well, mostly. But this is intentional at the moment.
Yes. It's on jack stands for maintenance. We had our first round of practice. Everything went well. Unbelievable how a different setup changes the whole characteristics of the car handling. This is the first time that my car actually turns more than I actually ever had going through the turns. With the new brakes and stuff like that, my first time back out in the car, I wasn't really pushing the limits of the car, getting myself acclimated back into driving the coupe. Just trying to get a feel for the car, getting my mental mindset since the last time I was on a racetrack was the wreck, as you all know about the sedan. But the chassis fixed, completely different setup in the car. Car turns unbelievable. It is now where the car is better than I am. I now have to get into the mindset of trusting it to go through the turns, where as the first round, like I said, I shook off the rust. Second round, without even trying hard, I hit a 13.8 lap, which is something that you expect to hit, but I was having trouble to get there. And being in the 15th lap, being back on the track, I was able to pull off a 13.8 lap. Was very encouraging to know that the car is now capable of more than that.
Of course, the following lap after he hit that fast lap, he sent it a little too hard and went, whoa!
I didn't send it in.
You gassed it too early.
I got a little happy with a little more turn and a little more gas, and then I kind of...
That was in the second round of practice. You'll probably hear me go, whoa! Oh, good, he saved it.
So, and then, again, we were just shaking the car down to make sure everything was good and stuff like that. I was riding behind people that were a little bit slower and stuff like that, so the lap times weren't that important to me. But knowing that the car, with me, my bad driving, I still hit a 13.8, is just encouraging.
I'll call it inconsistent driving as opposed to bad driving.
Oh, I just have to understand now that I can go in and the car is going to stick and turn.
Yeah, it's trust the equipment. Got you.
It's got me now, whereas before I was always correcting.
Yes.
So very happy with how the car is. As I'm telling that my setup people that I now have to get up to speed to the car in order to tell you what to change. So it's one of those that there's the carrot out there now.
Yes.
Whereas I was waiting for the car to come to me. Now the car is there. It's waiting for me to get up to it. But other than that, extremely happy. As we go along, there's a few things on my list I have to, adjust, check out, redo a little bit here and there to get more this is going to annoy me for this, little things, nothing major. Engine was breaking up a little bit, but I had to throw a set of plugs in there. It did get wet a little bit from our inspection day, but I don't think it's anything major I have to worry about. It's not the engine, it's electrical. We'll figure that out.
As we've established previously, electronics don't like water.
Yes, so it was things that I wanted to do, but I just didn't get time to. But other than that, car felt really good. I can't express that enough, that I actually have a car now that will actually turn, and I just have to smoothen out my line, my driving style to what this is capable of doing. So the bar is set early on, whereas previous two versions, 1.0, this is now 2.0, and the sedan has gone through 4 revisions. I was happy on my best lap of my best day was a 13.8.
13.817 was
Right.
across the 2 seasons. That in the sedan, because both times he hit those fast times, it was the 13.817. First time with the coupe being rebuilt, it was the second round of practice, I think lap 5 or 6. He had a 13.84 or something like that. 849 maybe.
So we are well ahead of speed-wise where we have been, which is always a positive note. Like I said, the driver now has to step up. But other than that, we have another.
We'll give the driver a little bit of warm-up time. He is, getting up there.
But
come on, if I don't make fun of your age at least once a video, something's wrong.
You can make fun of it. Most people in my age have got one foot in the grave already, and here I am racing cars. So, yeah, so it's a positive outlook onto the season. I'm not going to predict or have any grand plans. We're going to take it one race, one lap at a time.
We want to race all the laps. I'd like the car to stay in one piece.
Well, that's up to the other competitors. But yeah, we're going to go over it on this off week or this week. Do all the nut and bolt checks and all that stuff. Do a little maintenance on it.
We have next week, or this coming Saturday, is the second.
Another practice round. So knowing where the car is at, now I'm going to get more aggressive. I won't say aggressive, but more
assertive
into, now I know the car is going to stick and turn.
He can make some of the moves that he would have held off on.
Trust the line a little bit more. Get away from the slower traffic that was on the track around me. Because
there were a couple times that you were able to keep pace as well as then eventually pass to the outside.
Yes.
You didn't have to hug the bottom line the whole time, but you were also able to hug the line.
Yes. So,
unless you hit that bump over in turn 3 a little hard, and then you drifted out to the wall on the front stretch, turn 4.
Which there's somebody in commentary.
Yeah.
You did see that?
I saw that.
Okay. Which
is fine, but bandos don't have suspension.
And I don't think he realizes that.
No.
But anyway, that's a topic for another
if you ever watch Bandoleros race and you stare at the front is going.
It's a go-kart.
It's a glorified lawnmower.
But to the guys,
to their
comments, point, he is correct in getting driver
input.
Seasoned drivers to the new kids to don't turn when you're going over that bump.
No.
Well,
again,
his point is well taken, and it's it was a completely here's an observation.
Yes,
I'm making a post.
It was an intelligent conversation starter.
Yeah. So,
as opposed to just a complaint that had no bearing.
Right. No, he brought up a valid point. Great ideas, and
you see all of the divisions getting
that bump.
No, it does exist, but again, it's on the infield. So technically,
most of the drivers go around it.
But the bando drivers are usually the rookies to racing period. So
they don't understand to avoid that.
Don't drive over the hull.
Right. But anyway, it was a observation. He made a statement.
And was
not harsh, not.
It was hey, is this a known thing?
Together, saying, hey, listen, this could be helpful to the young drivers going forward.
Yeah. But anyways, so as we've been rambling for almost 10 minutes at this point.
Yes, this is going to be short and sweet.
He says as he gears up for another ramble.
No, I'm just going to repeat saying that it felt good to be back into this car. More of my car.
Yes, because this is the seat that we bought specifically for you.
So, it was just like, all right, this is where it's the upgrade car compared to the stand that was the old car. But it did its job. It let us continue racing until we got this one fixed.
Yep.
But now that we are down to the one car, any type of major repairs will be done as quickly as possible. But hopefully we don't have to get to that.
No,
But
but
now that I'm part of a team that is,
they have a whole shop.
I'm gonna try and say this without hurting the past guys. They've welcomed me and they've come over to make sure that everything is all right. As crazy as they were getting 3 cars ready,
They still made time
they came over to make sure how I was doing. And now what I have to learn to do is
use them as a sounding board.
Ask questions, talk to them, and I'm not that type of person. So I have to learn to trust,
Someone else actually has more resources
more knowledge.
Yeah.
So plain and simple. They've been doing it
since they could walk.
I think they're 25-ish, and they've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah, literally.
Racing in total of everything.
Since they could walk, they've been racing.
2 great guys, parents, fathers, everybody.
The whole crew over there.
And I'm not bashing anybody else or anything else. Last year, it was more on me not going over to him and talking to him, going back and forth. Again, he was helpful. He got us here. He fell off the pace last year, so I'm trying to get him to get back to his.
Yeah, let him focus on his stuff.
And then this is the guy who did the chassis. They know this car now. They helped me set it all up. So their car, one of their cars, is set up exactly like this one. So anytime that there's a problem with, we're going to adjust it on our car, and they're going to tell me to do it on my car in order to get better at the track during the race day, because the track changes hourly.
Every lap. It feels like it. It's not quite to the level of dirt racing changing, but it definitely
sometimes it is.
Yes.
But overall, we had a good practice time. We learned a lot. We have areas that we need to improve on, mostly driving. But then again, I never had a car that handled this good. And it is a completely different setup on the car. And I need to drive the car the way it's supposed to be driven now.
Yep. And now that we're in that position, we have next week to keep practicing before I start putting stickers in the car to yell at you.
Yes.
And on that note, say goodnight.
Peace out.
We'll see you next week.